Alright, YouTube says I'm live, so I must be live. Welcome in. This is the Howdy Tech Show, hanging out with Dave. This is a little live stream that I do every weekend here on the channel. Talk about computer hardware news usually. Sometimes we get into some gameplay. Just come hang out, chat it up. Sometimes we get into some personal information or whatnot. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, about my videos or about me, we just kind of hang out and chat. Give the community a chance to get to know me a little bit better if they want. Talking about the computer news, today we have the Radeon RX 6300. What is it? Well, stay tuned and we'll be covering that. And we also got quite a bit of information about the Ryzen 7000 coming up that came out this week, or information came out about this week. We're going to be covering some of that information as well. They say it gets up to 5.5 gigahertz. It's up to 16 cores. There were questions about when the, what was it? Computex, or whatever the announcement came out, there was questions about the power delivery system one. They actually came out and corrected that some as well. That's going to be some of the topics that we're going to be talking about in today's video, or today's live stream. Which should lead into some pretty good conversation. But, there's a couple disclaimers I throw out at the beginning of each show. There is some alcohol consumption. I do enjoy me a cold Budweiser while I do the show, so I hope this Saturday's finding y'all well. Cheers to y'all. Also, I am a truck driver by trade. My language ain't always the best. I try to keep the cussing and the cursing and the foul language to a minimum. But it does slip out sometimes. Every once in a while, especially during gameplay, it slips out. Which I don't know if I wasn't planning on doing any gameplay today, but we'll see how it happens. Chris McGraw's in the house. How you doing, Chris? I'm glad you're hanging out with me this weekend, buddy. So yeah, there is the foul language warning I throw out every weekend, just in case it does. Like I said, I try to keep it to a minimum, but it does happen. Once we get done with the computer news, tech news, and whatnot for the week, what I could find anyways, we go into how the channel's done and how the community's going and what you can expect coming up on the channel. So, yeah, you can expect that as well. But let's go ahead and we'll flip you guys over here if I can remember how to do this. I only do this once a week, so it takes me a while to get used to my buttons. But we'll go ahead and start going down through this news for this week. I try to cover them in the same way that I put them into the description. Chris, I'm quite excited about their R7K CPUs. Yeah, they seem to be pretty interesting. Which we'll get into that here in the article a little bit, but I think there's a little bit of miscommunication. I think there's, I don't know, just the way they pronounced it, the way they, I think AMD is holding back on the information they gave out. I think the chip is a lot more powerful than what they put out in the introduction of them. Of course, I can kind of see why they're doing it. But yeah, I think they're a little bit undercutting themselves, and of course they're doing that to see what Intel comes out with, what Raptor Lake has to offer. I think what they put out, they could actually push them a lot higher and a lot further than what they did. But we'll get into that here in a minute here. What is RX 6300? Has anybody heard about this thing yet? Well, it's a new Navi 24 GPU coming out. Like the, what was it? The 6400 wasn't bad enough. The 6500 wasn't bad enough. AMD's doing it again. AMD thinks the market needs a third Navi 24 GPU with performance that could rival integrated graphics. They're #1 on the charts for integrated graphics. Now they're trying to beat themselves, I guess, with this video card. The report came from wherever that is, Phoenix, earlier this morning. This was just put out yesterday, about 21 hours ago. So it is fairly new. Another Navi 24 GPU card coming out. Kind of reading down through it, as well as we can expect the new GPU to be a refresh of the 6500 XT or 6400 XT, or it could be a new GPU model altogether, which will most likely be the case. If this is true, it should fill out the role of an RX 6300 with the performance that tiers under the 6400. Oh my, yeah. You haven't heard of it yet, Chris? It's OEM only. Is it OT? I'm sure they'll probably roll it out for the OEMs first, and then bring it, then release it. By reading down through it this morning, I just found this morning, and I had a whole lot of time to read a whole lot on it. And I was very unqualified to talk about this one because I didn't have much time to read it. It is complete with the 1030, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at performance less than the 6400 XT, which I wouldn't really recommend that as a gaming card, really. The performance is supposed to be lower than the 6400. Which it's nice that they're coming out with these lower end cards now. That's, you know, it'd be nice for a nice little budget build. Maybe HTPCs, you know. Now, as long as they put the encoders and de-encoders back on them, it'd be good for something like that. The low brackets for some of these Dell Optiplexes and whatnot. Specs can only be speculated at this point, but AMD has already made a mobile variant called the RX 6300M. So we can make some educated guesses from that perspective. The RX 6300M is currently AMD's both bottom of the RX 63 POC. RX 6000 series GPU with the specs that are compatible with integrated graphics solutions such as the Radeon 680M. Looks like it's going to be cut back to 2 gig VRAM buffer on it. Compared to the RX 6400, the 6300M shares similarities in core count with 768 in all. However, memory bandwidth, cache size, and clock speed are heavily neutered in comparison. The 6300M can only comes with a peak game clock of 1512 and no boost clock. Infinity Cache comes in at a measly 8 megabytes with memory bandwidth peaks up to 64 gigabits with a capacity of 2 gig. So basically it's another GPU that they put in laptops. Now they're slapping it on a board and releasing it to the consumers. 6400 competes with the 1070 Ti, so the one must complete with something lower than the 1030 or 1052 gig or something crappy like those. Yeah, pretty much. I meant the 6300. Yeah, that's, I mean, we get down in here, you know, you actually look at it, it says power consumption's under 30 watts. It's under 30 watts, you can get 75 watts through your motherboard. How powerful is this thing going to be? The potential 6300 desktop card could be a great option as a hardware accelerated GPU or a multi-monitor capable GPU for a very old and tiny pre-built system with small power supplies. However, we couldn't expect any serious gaming to happen on the GPU that will probably rival integrated graphics solutions. So there ain't no mention of price. There's no mention of when this thing's supposed to come out. AMD again is, like I said, you know, bringing out the 6300M from a laptop, slapping it on a PCB, and throwing it out to the public. It's just to get a video signal out, not worth the money to waste. We'll have to see what the performance numbers is on it. But if it goes much below that 6400, you can get better performance out of the 5600, 5700G. So I don't know. They say it's supposed to compete with integrated graphics. But again, you know, AMD's on top when it comes to the APU with integrated graphics. It's just to get a video signal out. Yeah, I really don't. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I've been waiting for more budget video cards to come out with NVIDIA and AMD both. These budget options they're coming out with, to me, ain't even really video cards. You know, I mean, if they're going to keep knocking off the encoders and de-encoders and this and that, to me, it ain't really a graphics card. Get a 6600 XT or not, or a 3060, it's a way better choice. Price to fraps, whites, I mean. Yeah, I mean, even the, you know, not even going up to the 6600 XT, just the 6600 non-XT version. You know, right now, that'd be my suggestion for any decent gaming computer if you're looking at new components. You know, for the price, for the performance to price, you know, 6600 right now until NVIDIA graphics card like the 3060 Ti comes down a little bit more in price, because they're still fairly high yet. NVIDIA is still holding their the prices up there a good bit. It's just everybody wants NVIDIA, so they can charge a little bit more for theirs. But you know, right now the 6600, if you ask me, if you're looking at, you know, what are they, like $320, $330 for the 6600 non-XT variant. You know, you're looking at 1080p, even some like 1440p gaming, depending on the games you play and what kind of fraps you want out of it. Makes a pretty good video card right now. These lower end SKUs they're coming out with, you know, which we talked a couple weeks ago about the 6400. But you know, they're going to keep cutting these things back and cutting them back to where there is no real use for them. You know, like I said, if they can't beat the 5600G or the 5700G, there's no sense in them. And when the 7000 series comes out, they're all going to come out with their RNDA2 graphics. You know, I don't know if this thing's going to be much stronger than what them integrated graphics are going to be. I meant the value by fraps that has became a thing lately. Yeah, exactly. Hey, I got 4 people watching me. Welcome in, guys. I'm glad you guys decided to hang out with me here this morning. Yeah, but I don't know exactly what this video card is actually supposed to do. I don't understand it. Is it RD2 or something like that? Yeah, RDNA2 graphics on the 7000 series. So I don't know where this thing's gonna come into play yet. I just hope Ryzen 7000 handles DDR5 better than Intel 12. Yeah. Be a new architecture, be a new RAM standards. It's gonna take a while to get them CPUs to straighten out on DDR5. There's a lot of stuff that's got to go on behind the scenes to get DDR5 up. I mean, right now DDR5 don't perform much better than DDR4 does. Let's see here. What we got next? Oh, what did I do? Open that up 2 different times? I must open that up 2 different times. But anyways, that's pretty well the 6300 in a nutshell and kind of my thoughts behind it. Alright, and of course, if you guys want to do any more reading on this stuff, this is all from Tom's Hardware. The link is in the description below already if you guys want to do some reading on it. I don't like to be an early adopter. I'll wait a while. Things get ironed out. Yeah, exactly. I'm the same way. Get back and look through the videos on the channel. You know, even whenever Ryzen first launched, you ain't going to see no 1000 series chips. You ain't going to see the, B350s or the 370 motherboards. I just ain't much to be an early adopter. That's why I haven't done nothing with Alder Lake right now. Because that E-core, P-core is such a new thing right now. Let them get it ironed out. It's going to take a while to get stuff straightened around. And, the way I do the channel, pretty much, I expect people to have a good, stable system. With the new stuff coming out, it's kind of hard to justify or to recommend the new stuff coming out when you don't know if it's going to be stable or not. Alright, talking about the Ryzen 7000 series. AMD introduces Zen 4 Ryzen 7000 CPUs and motherboards. Up to 5.5 GHz, 15% plus performance, and RDNA 2 graphics. By looking down through the article, every one of them is going to have the RDNA 2 graphics. So they're going to have some kind of integrated graphics. I'm sure they're going to be very, very low graphical performance. Probably about as good as what HD graphics is on Intel. My guesstimation, they ain't going to put a whole lot of graphical power on them. That's why they always came out with the APUs. They had a little bit better graphics. AMD CEO Lisa Su revealed more details about the upcoming 7000 series. They will be coming out in the fall. Yeah, they ain't all APUs. They will have a small integrated graphics, but they ain't gonna be APU. So like I said, they're gonna probably equal the integrated graphics, HD graphics off of an Intel chip. Which, I mean, they come in handy. I'm surprised they didn't do it with Ryzen when they first came out, actually. Some kind of small integrated graphics. That way, if you have problems with the GPU or something, you can use the onboard graphics to actually help troubleshoot or maybe even get by and still use your computer till your GPU comes back or whatever the situation may be. Some just puts a video signal out, so no gaming on those. Yeah, it's going to be just for, if you want a workstation, you want to check your emails, you want to pay your bills, you want to watch YouTube, you want to, pretty well that's what the integrated graphics going to be. They ain't going to be anything powerful. Which all this should be coming out in the fall of 2022. Yeah, it's useful for diagnostics. That's about it. But to me, I think every processor should have a little bit of a iGPU on it, just for them reasons. That's why even with the Intel chips, I won't recommend the F SKU. I like to have that little bit of integrated graphics there just in case, because you never know. Forgot how to type. Yeah, that happens to me too all the time. Let's see here. The motion of 16-core Ryzen 7000 processors had an amazing 5.5 GHz during a gaming demo. Pretty impressive. Also compelling a Blender render at 31% less time than the Intel flagship 12900K. As expected, we also learned plenty of new details about the 5 nanometer Zen 4 7000 Raphael processors with new wave of motherboards with the AM5 socket. Which just sort of kind of surprised me. A quick snap is that AMD claims that the Ryzen 7000 processors will have greater than 15% more single threaded performance than their Zen 3 processors, but not the IPC. Up to 5 GHz plus max boost frequency come with an integrated RDNA2 graphics, a first, and will support only DDR5 memory. In addition, the chips have 5 nanometer CPU chiplets for the cores, a 6 nanometer I/O die, and twice the L2 cache, 1 megabit per core. So it's kind of surprising that they're going to put out these processors that don't have no better IPC. And yes, with the way the processors work, you can have a better processor as far as cores go without improving the IPC. But the 5800X3D is supposed to be the fastest, the best gaming CPU out right now. But without upping that IPC, Intel's going to take the lead, I believe. Because Intel is nipping at the heels anyways. As far as the IPC goes, Intel's going to take that lead with this next gen. You're looking at the Raptor Lake coming out, and they didn't improve the IPC. It don't make much sense to me. MT Coiner's in the house with a $10 donation. Appreciate it, buddy. Good morning. How you doing? I hope this Saturday's finding you well, MT. Appreciate the support to the channel. But yeah, you can have faster CPUs without improving the IPC, but I don't know why they would decide to do that. Not unless, like I mentioned earlier, that's one of the things they're holding back. They're saying that there ain't going to be an IPC improvement until they see what Intel does, which I think that's going to be the case. Then it talks a little bit about the X70E Extreme boards. X670, the B660 swim lanes. I'm not even really sure what the hell a swim lane is. If you know what swim lane is, let me know over there in the chat or down in the comments if you're watching this after the last 3 minutes. Levels of support for the PCI 5.0 or 4.0 detailed below. AMD also revealed that the AM5 socket would support up to 170 watts of peak power, which we will got another article to talk to about that. They corrected some of their statements that they put out, which will be helpful for high core count models. The RDNA2 engine Also supports up to 4 display outs, including HDMI 2.1 and DisplayPort 2 interfaces. That's a different topic for a different day on them. Okay. The biggest news for 5 Zen 4 chips comes with 15% better improvement in single-thread performance over the previous Zen 3 5000 processors. AMD tells us that this comes with a mixture of instructions per cycle, IPC, and frequency improvement. They said IPC right here, but up here they said it wasn't supposed to get you much better. So I don't know. To keep right there, not IPC. But down here they say that it does have better IPC. So which is it? Come on, AMD, you're confusing me here, buddy. But won't share the specification percentages each factor consists until later. Dio, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. You're in the house. Hope this weekend's finding you well. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate the support, buddy, just by you stopping by and watching. But they won't specify which improvement, you know, what the percentage gain is on either of the performance gains on it. Above 5 gigahertz peak frequency, even over demanded a 16-core model or hitting 5.5 gigahertz. However, this comes with the standard caveat that the frequency only applies to a single core during a little burst workload. Okay, yeah, well, that's pretty common. That's no big deal. I don't see them hitting 5.5 gigahertz on 16 cores. I don't know how you'd ever cool that thing. Unless everybody starts doing their own loops. I'm doing well. The school liquidation sale happened yesterday. I scored 22 SFF optiplexes with 4th Gen i5s, GT730, 16 gigs of RAM, SSDs for $20 each. Very nice. Very nice. I'd like to know how to find them kind of sales around my local area. You do some research on that stuff. That's a pretty good pickup for $20 a piece, especially if they're operational. Now, do they pull the hard drives out of them before they sell them empty? Because I know a lot of people pull the hard drives out before selling an old computer. I just didn't know if the schools would do something like that or not. That means that the 15% plus figures isn't based solely on IPC improvements. Single-threaded performance does not boost performance across the board, as it is amplified as workloads spread across the cores. To that effect, AMD also boosts the max power delivery of the AM5 socket. PPT will be housing the Ryzen 7000 chips, 170 watts, and a 28-watt increase over the previous Gen AM4. They actually come back and correct that. We'll get into that. AM4 socket reaches 142-watt peak. If AMD sticks to its standards of PPT times 1.35 times equals TDP, that means that we will see AM5 socket chips top out at 125-watt TDP. Now, we'll dive into performance comparisons a bit further below, but it looks like we will see a closer than expected race between the Ryzen 7000 and Intel's Alder Lake and Raptor Lake CPUs. This right here, this AVX5, we will, they also got an article out on it that we're going to touch on today for that one as well right here. I don't know why they wrote their own article just for that. Yeah, they wipe them. They also had some think centers that have 8th gen i5s and Quattro GPUs, and I got those for 50 each. I only had 3 of them though. That 8th gen would be that's definitely a sweet pickup for the 8th gen. That's still pretty good deals. I mean, even if they wipe the hard drives, at least they still leave the hard drives in them. Pretty good. We'll get into some more of this stuff here in a little bit about the wattages and whatnot. Like I said, they come back and correct themselves on that kind of stuff. 7000 processors will, with expanded instructions of AI acceleration, but AMD isn't sharing details yet. However, we know the Gigabyte hack that Zen 4 support AVX 512 instructions, so they are likely the unnamed instruction. If so, the oddly placed Intel chips at a disadvantage, as well as having disabled AVX 512 function due to the hybrid architecture. And the hybrid architecture is the P cores and the E cores. So they can't run the AVX 512 instructions if they have that E core, P core going on the Intel side of things. AMD has also doubled the L2 cache per core to 1 megabit for Zen 4, giving the cores a healthier slab of near memory for workloads. Intel chips, we've seen a large L2 cache primarily benefit data center workloads. Well, yeah, the more the cache you got, the better it's going to be for the server stuff. We don't talk about the server stuff too much on this channel. There's a block diagram of the die if you like to look at it. I don't know, I don't get too much into that. It's a little too technical for my taste buds. The chip houses 2 5nm core chiplets, each spotting 8 cores. AMD says these are based on the optimized version of the TSMC's high-performance 5nm process technology. Which that's where they come up. That's where they're coming up with the 16 cores. The all-new I/O die comes with the 6nm process and houses the PCI 5.0 DDR5 memory controller along with multi-needed aid additional for AMD. The RDNA 2 graphical engine, the new 6nm I/O die, also has a lower power architecture based on future pulled from the AMD's Ryzen 6000 chips. So it has enhanced low power management features and expand of low power states. $7,000 chips will support up to 24 lanes of PCI 5.0 interface directly from the socket. That is quite a few lanes for PCIe 5.0, especially on the mainstream. I mean, you used to be, if you wanted 24 lanes, you had to go to the enthusiast platform. 24 plus 4 PCIe lanes will be very nice, 4 more than the current CPUs. Yeah. The 24 lanes, you used to have to go through the Threadripper to get them, or the enthusiast platform, the X299 platforms and whatnot through Intel to be able to get that many lanes. With the Ryzen 7000, they're actually bringing it to the mainstream. It's going to be very nice, especially, well, if you're running a PCI Express 5.0 graphics card or PCI Express 4.0 graphics card, plus an NVMe hard drive off of that, it's going to at least be a PCIe 4.0, if not a 5.0. You're going to need them kind of lanes for the transfer speeds. I mean, you're going to have to, you know, they're going to have to increase them lanes to be able to keep up with that much traffic when talking to the CPU. But it's kind of nice that they're bringing them out with the mainstream. The test notes include the benchmark with a 16-core chip running DDR5 6000 CL30. Boy, ain't that some slow memory. CL30. I ain't even used to DDR4 latency yet. It's unclear of those stock frequencies. XMP overclock values. AMD tends to use XMP profile for its benchmarks. I think that was a mispronounced because AMD calls it DOCP usually instead of XMP. XMP is an Intel term. But anyways, what's Jay's 2 cents say? I digress. AMD recently toured that it is expected to have exceptional DDR5 overclockability, making the memory controller sound impressive from afar. A newly filled patent also points to a possible upcoming automatic memory overclocking feature. That'd be nice. I mean, especially if you're new to building gaming PC, and memory will actually go in and overclock itself. You don't have to go into the BIOS and enable your XMP or your DOPC. That would definitely make it nice. A lot of people just getting into PC gaming. Maybe you're buying a pre-built and you don't have much experience with that kind of stuff. Yeah, that automatic memory overclocking feature, I think it'd be a very nice thing for them to come up with. Because a lot of the pre-built you get, you know, they say they're running 3,000 megahertz speed, but you go into the BIOS and here they're running 2133 because the XMP ain't engaged on it. They haven't showed no specifications for integrated graphics GPU, which is the APUs. The iGPU and Oxygen running between 1,000 and 2,000 megahertz in recent benchmark submissions. Oh, that's the integrated graphics that comes on the chips. So 1,000 to 2,000 megahertz. They may be pretty good. Maybe pretty good for a little bit of gaming if they're going to be hitting them kind of speeds or in DA2 or DNA2. They will support DisplayPort 2 and HDMI 2.1 ports. It doesn't appear that there will be any graphics less options. Boy, ain't that funny. Try to say that 10 times fast. So they ain't gonna come out with an F series like Intel did. Engine will help address one of AMD's key weaknesses in the OEM market. Automatic warning canceling feature since OC ain't covered. Yeah. A little bit of a stab to NZXT. Yeah, a little bit of stab. Yeah. A lot of them companies don't do that. Actually, here after the live stream, about 3 o'clock this afternoon, I got a computer coming in, which I'll talk about here when we get down here with the articles. But I am kind of excited for these. I want to see them integrated graphics. If they're going to hit that 1,000 to 2,000 megahertz speeds, and it's on that newer architecture, they may have decent integrated graphics to them without being an APU. ought to, maybe a little bit more helpful than what I thought. Not to mention to be helpful for enthusiasts for troubleshooting. That's what me and Chris McGraw was talking about a little bit ago. It's good for troubleshooting. Just need a basic display out. But if they're going to hit 1 to 2,000 megahertz, they ought to be pretty good. These chips will probably top out at 16 core, 32 thread. Most people nowadays only need 4 cores. Very few people actually need more than 4 cores on their computer. Unless you're streaming or video editing or something like that. Some games will utilize more than 4 cores, 8 threads, but but you don't see much of a loss if you go with a 4-core, 8-threaded processor. Just like the previous Ryzen 5000, AM5 will be long-lived socket as well as saw with the AM4 socket. So apparently they have it in mind to keep AM5 sockets around for quite a while. Hopefully they stay around for as long as AM4 did. AM4's been what, 4 years, 5 years? We've had the AM4 sockets. Down here's a little bit more information about the 5.5 gigahertz, which I don't know how long they actually got the 5.5 gigahertz to run on the 1 core. Down here it is. Rendered a Ryzen 7000 204 seconds for the render that they did, which is 31% less time than the 12900K of 297 seconds. So it's supposed to be a little bit faster than 1200KS. Or 1200K, not the KS, just the K version. But that ain't gonna really translate over to performance and gaming, really. That's for workload stuff, if you're rendering out videos or 3D modeling or something like that. Blender supports AVX512, and although we're not sure if the Ryzen 7000 desktop chips will come with this feature to enable, we do know that Zen 4 micro architecture supports the instruction. This could be combined to AMD's lead over Intel in the benchmark. Yeah, like I previously mentioned up the top, Intel don't have the AVX512. I ain't gonna get into this HOWDY shit down here, because they did revise that some. 15% to single thread performance improved by putting an unnamed pre-produced 16 core Zen 4 Ryzen 7000 processor. The flagship DDR5 6000 memory up against 16 cores of the Ryzen 9 5950X DDR4 3600 single thread test. Unfortunately, AMD did not share any specifications, but this does give us a basic idea of how the chips will fare against the older Lake and this benchmark. Yeah, so AMD is pretty well leaving a lot of this on the table. And again, I think this is pretty well basic. They want to see what Raptor Lake ends up with the Intel before they come out, and they're holding them, what they call it in poker, where you hold back cards until the end, and then you throw your big ones down. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I think these processors are going to be a lot more powerful than what they're giving them credit to be. But I think they're going to be an interesting chip to go through. Whoops, messed it all up, didn't I? Which we already went through the 16 cores, which I was going to bring up this article as well with the AVX 512. I don't know why, like I said, I don't know why they did a separate article on that one day ago when they actually talked about it here. What was this? This was quite a few days ago. 5 days ago. But yeah, so it has a little bit of a lead over the Intel chips because of that AVX 512 instructions. But we're gonna, and all the stuff that I missed over. AMD correct socket AM5 for Ryzen 7000 power specs. 230 watt peak power, 170 watt TDP updated. This came out 2 days ago, where the other article was, what we say, 5 days ago. At Computex 2022, AMD showed the benchmarks in detail about a 5nm Zen 4 FBRC Ryzen 7000 processor and AM5 socket motherboards. It turned out the company made a mistake. AMD originally stated that the socket AM5 would have a 170 watt package power tracking PPT limit, meaning that you would be the peak amount of power that the socket could feed to any given processor. However, AMD now clarified that the original number is shared is in error. The peak power consumption for the AM5 socket is actually 230 watts, which is down quite a bit. That's a significant increase over the previous gen's 142 watts. So that 230 watts is a lot better than 270 watts they were saying, but it's still a lot more than what the 5000 series has at 142 watts. This equates to 170 watt TDP for some processors designed for the AM5 socket. The TDP on chips, I think, is a joke, because AMD uses one process to figure out what it is, Intel uses another. So yeah, I think the TDP is a joke anyways. But AMD would like to issue a correction to the socket power and TDP limits of the upcoming AMD socket AM5. AMD socket AM5 supports up to 170 watt TDP with a PPT of up to 230 watts. TDP 1.35 is the standard calculation for TDP and PPT for AM sockets in the Zen era. The new 170 watt TDP group is no exception. Consumers around 80% more power. Sounds familiar. Yeah, sounds like they're taking schooling off of Intel, don't it? So yeah, they came back and they fixed it, which I don't think it's gonna make that much of a difference compared to what Alder Lake is eating up. I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I still think Alder Lake's gonna be the higher TDP, or use the most power. I think they're gonna be a little bit more NVIDIA and Intel. Yeah, I think they're gonna be pretty competitive on the power consumption compared to what the other two are on them. Of course, we are talking CPUs here, not GPUs, so. But at least they came back and clarified what they was meaning by that. They admitted to their error. Which, you know, I'm gonna wait till independent reviewers get their samples and see what actually comes out of it. Anytime these companies come out with these press releases and whatnot, you definitely got to take them with a grain of salt anyways. Like I said, I think AMD is holding back on how good these processors are going to actually be. So, yeah. I think they're gonna wait. They're gonna see what Raptor Lake offers, and then they're gonna pull out the big guns on them. I need a nuclear power plant soon. I mean a new PSU. Yeah, pretty soon you're gonna need both of them. It's, I don't know. I've been running my 650-watt power supply for the last 5 years or so it's probably about time for an upgrade, anyways. But with the power that the new GPUs is coming out with, and the power consumption that they have, along with these newer processors, if you're gonna be upgrading to the new AM5 or the new Alder Lake or Raptor Lake Intel when they come out, it's yeah, it ain't gonna be uncommon to have a 850 or 1,000 watt or 1,200 watt or 1,300 watt PSU in your system. You're gonna have to have it to be able to power these systems, and hopefully the electrical in your house is gonna hold up to it. Even your house current, you're gonna have quite a bit of hard time handling it unless your computer's the only thing that's plugged into that particular outlet. I predict 2 PSUs set up soon in case designs. I could probably see that. I could see that, one for the main system and then one for the GPU by itself. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. Either that or they're going to have to up the wattage of the power supplies, which power supplies go up to, what, 1,800 watts or 2,000 watts, I think? What is the highest powered, give us some of these. What is the highest powered PSU you can get? I don't know, I've never actually looked that up. Power supplies. And you're going to have to go with the highest price. Well, I think there's like up to like 2,000 watts or something you can get out of a PSU. What the hell was going on here? Did I do click on the wrong thing? Components. Power supply. Server power supplies? I don't want server power supplies. I just want power supplies. Now, power supplies. Power supplies. Now, let's see here. Oh, they got more than that. Newegg only showing 875 watts as the max. I know they got more than that. 1,800 is about the highest. 1,800 watt? Yeah, because Newegg's only showing up to 875 watts for some reason. I know they got higher wattage power supplies than that. Okay, we'll go with 1,800 watt. That sounds about right. Pretty soon you're going to need that 1,800 watts to be able to handle a computer. They're going to have to, if they don't want to run 2 power supplies, they're going to have to get the power supply manufacturer to make a higher wattage power supplies. Next thing you know, your computer is going to be like your furnace or your AC unit in your house or something like that. You're going to have to be running off of 220. 110 ain't going to handle it, especially here in the U.S. You're going to end up having to have a 220 to be able to run a computer. Pretty sad. Pretty bad to have to hit that kind of power limits just for a gaming computer. They keep up in the wattage of these motherboards and these CPUs and GPUs. I mean, they're going to have to do it without selling a kidney your mother on the black market to afford those. Oh yeah. The 1,800 watts is the highest model. 1,800 watt. PSU. Let's see here. Oh, I knew I got any listed. Them like silver looking ones out. Nah, actually, if this is right, looks like you can get them for about 170 bucks. I mean, that's for a mining rig, but they just put in 1800 watt PSU and you come up with a bunch of server stuff. There's 2000 watt mining, 2000 watt. Looks like most of them is made for actual miners or for server grade. So yeah, I mean, if they're gonna keep upping they're gonna keep upping how much power you need to. There's 1800 top power, 1800 for $200. They're gonna keep producing computer components that need this kind of money, or this kind of power. They're gonna have to do something. There we go. No, I ain't signing in. No, quit it. I'm not in Canada. But there's a 2400 watt that Chris put in chat over there. Server. It's a server PSU. $365. Of course, that's a mining rig for BTC, Bitcoin miners. Um, let's see here. New egg. I don't know why they ain't letting me have just regular power supplies. Yeah, I mean they're gonna keep upping these watts. They're getting crazy. 2400 watts is nuts. 275 US more or less. Yeah, about 280 for a power supply. But like I said, they're gonna keep upping the power usage of these computers. You're gonna end up having to have it. Just hope they get them in a form factor that'll fit into a regular PC case. Because them look like them mainly for miners, for miner rigs. I'll be right back, guys. Alright guys, sorry about that. My dogs needed out. I had to go let them out. They woke up. What I miss? 800 plus 230 means at least a 1400 watt for a basic system. Why I said I need a nuclear power plant. Yep. I don't need a nuclear power plant. Right down the road I got some high power tension lines going across property down below me. So I can always tap into it. I don't think the power company will mind too much. Let's flip you guys over here. There we go. So far for this week, the community hasn't done a whole lot. We got 9 new community members. If any of you are watching, welcome to the community. Glad you hit that subscribe button, which is down quite a bit. That's down by 50% from last week. So yeah, community's growing a little bit. Not a whole lot, but hey, we'll take it, right? What's coming up on the channel this week? It's already uploaded and ready to go here. We have the budget gaming PC build of 2022 in the deep cool. It's past Wednesday, the unboxing overview of the Matrix 40 case came out. This week, it will be the build in that one. And actually, this morning, I was working on the next one coming out for the following week. And that's going to be the performance number of the RX 580 here in 2022. Which, yeah, by looking at the price of it, which I think this is completely outrageous. Where's that? There it is. An RX 580. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but they're selling for $720 on Newegg. I have no idea why the XFX RX 580 8 gig cord is selling for so much. I know it's good for crypto mining, but crypto is coming to an end. But $720 for this cord is just completely out of their mind. I don't know what these guys are smoking, but whatever it is, I wish they would share some with me. Unless we get something like a UPS type battery with solar panels and a supernova nearby. And of course, this ain't sold and shipped by Newegg. This is shipped and sold by Memory C. But even if you look this up on Amazon, I mean, I seen these prices on this video card this morning when I was working on that video, and they're just blowing my mind. They got one here listed for $720. They got one listed for $500. They're just completely outrageous. I mean, a lot of the sellers don't have them anymore. They're too old of a video card to even buy new. And as far as the used market goes, they're a little bit better. Let's go up here and look at sold. They're a little bit better. They are coming down in price, fortunately. Crypto did crash, Div, and it's not coming back up from this. Yeah, it crashed pretty bad. It's and I know the price of these cards is going to be coming down. When I bought mine, when I bought the FXF 580 2018, I think I bought mine for $100. And it was still a fairly new card then compared to what it is now, and they're still going for 162, 165, 175, 200, 180. There's a brand new one went for $331. $150. You know, these cards ought to be $80 by now. It costs more than a 6500 XT. I find it hilarious. Yeah, well, 6500 XT so cut back it ain't funny either. 6500 so cut back with the four lanes of communication that it ain't funny. And this is a true by 16 slot. It's got the encoders and everything to it. When did these come out? RX 580 released. They came out in 2017. April the 18th of 2017 when they came out. And I know these cards are still pretty good for mining. They're still pretty profitable at this point. And then prices will come down as crypto keeps crashing like it has been. What I think's funny is even last gen's AMD cards, the 5000 series, you can't find them at a decent price because they're so useful for mining right now. They're completely overpriced. Oops, wrong button. Get your head out of your ass, Dave. 5600. I hate when eBay wants you to sign in every damn time. I'm not signing in. Leave me alone. The RX 580 has to be my favorite card though. Yeah, they're actually pretty impressive. Still by today's standards, they don't do bad for gaming. But the price needs to come down to make them viable. Zamq's, what's going on, buddy? Glad you joined me. You're in the house. I just saw one of your videos, and well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It helped me so much. I'm glad I could help you out, buddy. That's why I created the channel, to help you guys out. But even like the 5600 XT right here, they're going for over $300, $260, $289, $207. I want to thank you for stopping in and hanging out with me today, bud. Appreciate it. Oh, I guess I'll flip you guys over if you guys want to see this. Oh, you guys are looking at it. Okay. But you know, even the 5000 series graphics cards are still pretty highly priced compared to what they should be. Which they'll come down in price, but they're still pretty high up there. I mean, by the time you pay $330 or $300 for this, you might as well buy the 6600. It's crazy. But they are falling. It's going to take a while for them to catch up with it. But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just crazy to me how the last gen cards are so much higher. I mean, you're looking at $354. You can buy 6600, the 6600 for that. Yeah, for an extra $30, you can get the new gen. There's a 6600 for $329, or you're going to pay $354 for a last gen cord. It's just crazy. It's nuts. Yeah, there's one for $100, but it's ports only. I don't know. It's kind of different, I guess. I don't know. Still waiting for the graphics card, especially when the older models have come down. I did read or seen a thing the other day where Oh, excuse me, like the 3060 Ti is actually becoming a little bit better priced. Um, but yeah, now them kind of cards, like I said earlier, Nvidia holds their prices up. I don't know why, but they seem to hold a lot better just because a lot of people know Nvidia. A lot of people are choosing Nvidia over AMD cards. One card I've never owned is a RX 590. I've heard you can OC the 580 and get similar performance. Yeah, you can. Um, Actually, there's BIOS updates for the RX 580s. They'll actually make it a 590. And then you can overclock on top of that. Did you look to get the Arctic case I told you about last week? No, that I haven't. I'm still off work. I don't go back to work until the end of this week, or well, Wednesday of next week. And then it's going to take about a month before I even get a paycheck. So I'll have to work 2 weeks, and then they hold 2 weeks. There's going to be a while before I can get it in. But there's the case you're talking about, the Antec NX200M. I'm just trying to hold off right now until I can get back to work and get some money coming in. Still have that computer behind me that I built. I still haven't sold yet. But yeah, I will be getting one of those. Earlier today, I bought a Ryzen 9 5900X and need to update the BIOS. 5900X, you got a better CPU than I got, buddy. My personal rig runs a 3950. 3950X is what I run in mine. But, it does what I need it to do. Yeah, but as far as picking up that case to do any kind of content on, it's going to be a little while yet. Like I said, I've been off work for about 2 months. And I don't have short-term disability or anything like that where I work at, so I've been living off of savings. And I don't want to run that too dry. That $60, $70 makes a big difference to me. I really can't afford that kind of money right now for new computer components until I get my payrolls coming back in. And it took me about a little over a month worth of YouTube ad revenue to buy a $60 case. But it will be coming up on the channel once I get it in. It may take a while, but yeah, I'll get to it. I was actually doing an inventory of what I got here, and I got a couple cases I need to use up for builds. NX260 is the ATX size big brother. I actually need another, I actually need another micro ATX. Big brother goes for $78. $78, and that does have pre-installed 3120 ARGB. Yeah. But I did an inventory about what I actually got, and I actually need another micro ATX case. Let's see, what do I got? I have 2 micro ATX motherboards and a mini ATX motherboard. As far as the cases I got on hand, I got a full ATX and 2 micro ATX cases. I actually got a mini ATX case too, but I didn't list it. Well, so I do need a full size. Maybe I'll pick up the full size and do something on it. I do need a full size case, so maybe I'll go with that other one. Bookmark board. Alright, got both of them saved down. But I do need a full-size case to help get rid of some of these components I got laying around here. Twice the price of the MATX and then NX200. Yeah. Also need to order a couple of cases. I need at least 2 more MATXs and 1 40TX for upcoming builds. It's similar in specs. Yeah, I actually took inventory of what I got the other day here. I got 1 CPU, I got 3 motherboards, I got 4 cases. I need GPUs badly. I need SSDs. I got 1 more SSD back there. But I got all my games and whatnot downloaded on it for testing, so I probably won't be selling that one. But the big thing is, for me at least, is GPUs, because they've been so screwed up for the last 2 years. I gotta get some GPUs coming in. I need to get rid of some of this stuff. Actually, if you guys haven't heard of it, I don't know, it's a fairly new site. Some of the other YouTubers turned me on to it. But just to make back some of my money, this Jawa, they sell used components, and they also sell gaming PCs. And I actually started an account the other day on it. Get rid of some of these components, get some of my investments back. I may start selling individual components. I'm not too thrilled if I'm going to be selling a full gaming PC. I'm not too thrilled on shipping. Just because of the GPUs and all that. But I was thinking about maybe selling some of the components I've got, especially the air coolers, since I got so many of them stacked up. And, letting the buyer, selling them for, 50% of what they cost, or 60%, something like that. Just to get rid of them. Just to get some of my initial investment back for the channel. Or I may build computers, which would bring more content to the channel. I have a feeling a lot of these PCs that they're selling, the people buying the ports off of this Jawa and build computers with them to sell the computers. But like I said, I don't know about shipping whole computers. I've never shipped one. I don't know. I don't know about shipping a computer. Most of my computer sales has been local deals. I don't have to never had to worry about shipping of them. Chris, I love mine, but $426 plus taxes. I would not recommend it. He sent me a link to his case here. Yeah, I don't like spending more than $100 on a case, actually, especially if you're on a budget. I run the 4000D. It's about as high as I'd want to go for a case. I mean, you start paying for this kind of money for a case, it gets a little on the expensive side. I mean, unless you have a reason to do a dual PC setup or something like that, I don't see much in spending more than $100 for a computer case. I mean, even if you're doing a $3,000 build, it's still hard to justify more than a $100 case, because most $100 cases has got everything that you need for them. Yeah, well, if you go into the EATX motherboards, then maybe. But There's cases out there for $100, $150 that will support an EATX motherboard. They may not look as nice, but but then again, you get into the bigger cases where you fit an EATX motherboard into it. Then you go to swap that motherboard out for an ATX motherboard. It looks funny because there's so much extra room inside the case. Shipping whole computers is expensive, yet somehow you can buy a full size case for $60 and free shipping. Then if you want to send the same case, it would cost you like $60 to ship. Yeah, exactly. Which that X570 Tomahawk Wi-Fi takes a lot of room. The X570 does. That's a full-size ATX motherboard. But yeah, that's kind of my problem with shipping a computer. I know I could put it to where the buyer pays for the shipping, which ain't that big of a deal. But my biggest thing is, especially if you leave the GPU in there, if you got an all-in-one in there, and I know FedEx and UPS, especially here in the U.S., does not take care of the packages. I mean, they just kick them and throw them and bang them around and let them fall off of forklifts. And, I'm kind of leery about sending them, and I know a lot of people do ship computers. It's just something that I've never done, and it is awful expensive. So if you sell a $700 computer, and UPS says it costs $60 to ship, okay, you get the $60 from the seller. But by the time you double pack it, you put all the, I'd definitely put some of that, the foam stuff inside of it to hold everything in place. I'd put all that stuff in it, then you double box it. You add all the packing foam around between the boxes. I'm still going to be losing money because it's going to be more than what UPS or FedEx said it would be to ship it. Don't leave GPU in and those foam packing inside. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you take the GPU out, and if you're selling to somebody that has never built a gaming computer or something, then you gotta worry about talking through on how to install the GPU and everything like that. And a lot of people that buys which actually brings me up to what's coming in here at 3 o'clock this afternoon. But not everybody wants to have to deal with installing a GPU. They expect to pull it out of the package, plug it in, and let it go. They don't want to have to worry about taking a couple of screws out, throwing the GPU in, plugging it in, and you know what I mean? It's just something. I was going to start an online store where I would sell machines I built. The shipping cost made it impossible. Yeah. I know some of you, I think both of you guys that's actually watch Gary Holzman. If you watch one of his older videos, he talks about it takes like $160 or $180 to ship a computer across the U.S. And, a lot of them websites like that, like Java and eBay, when they calculate that shipping, they don't calculate for the double boxing. They don't calculate for the weight of it. They don't, the packing material to actually protect the contents, they don't take all that into consideration. And that packing foam, I know it ain't real expensive. It's like $30, and you can get like 10 or 12 of them, something like that. But, if you're going to be selling multiple computers over time, that cost adds up. It's just, and then you take the reliability, it gets to the other side and the temper sag glass is busted on it, or the GPU rips out of the socket, or the wires pull out of it. Like I said, a lot of these people that buy these computers want to plug it in and go. They don't want to have to work on it. They don't, that's why they're buying something that's already built. You know, and then by the time, okay, you're going to give them a refund, and by the time they box it back up, which they ain't going to give a shit, they throw it in a box and throw it on the UPS truck and send it back, then you get it back, and cord's already fallen off of it, and the ram's dislodged and bounced around, and the pans is already broke up on it, and, you know, just an added expense to be able to give them a refund on it. Put them in 2 boxes and use good shock absorbing materials and put them in another box with packing material. This way all parts will survive the shipping. Well, that's the thing. By the time you put it in double boxes, that costs money. You add the shipping materials to it, it costs money. You know, everything adds up over time. Like I said, you know, you're looking at, you know, maybe $30 or so in packing foam. You're looking at a $2 box to be able to do that. You know, but whenever you do 30 or 40 computers, you know, at $20, $30 here and there actually ends up adding up to where it costs you to be able to ship them. And like I said, you know, them online selling sites, they don't take all that into consideration. They say this is what UPS is going to charge you, or this is what FedEx is going to charge you, and that's the bottom line. So they may only pay $100, you know, they may pay $60, $80 for shipping, but it costs you $120 to actually do it correctly. You're making me crazy just talking about shipping damage. You're so right about that. Actually, I got a computer coming in today. I don't have a whole lot of details on it. It's actually my niece through my late wife. She bought a gaming computer from Best Buy. I don't know the exact what I'm getting into with this computer. She wanted to bring it over last night, but it was awful late. Fiance was already in bed because she had to work this morning. So I pushed it off to about 3 o'clock this afternoon. I don't know if they went to Best Buy and picked this computer up. I'm going to try to get some of it on film. I don't know. But apparently, they contacted me. The grandmother of the child contacted me and said they needed hooked up. I figured, you know, you need to hook up the USB for the keyboard, the mouse, the monitor, the power. You know, I don't know exactly what their level of computers is. I thought it was going to be something easy like that, so I started shooting them photos of, you know, the back plate, saying this is where your USB goes for your motherboard, for your mouse and your keyboard. This is where your video input needs to go in. If you have integrated graphics, this is where it needs to come out of. If you got a GPU, this is where you plug in your power supply. And a little bit later, I was talking to the grandma. The mom contacted me. Said no, the cable inside of it is disconnected. And she's afraid to go in there and mess around with it because there's a lot of small cables and whatnot. Understandable. And of course, to me, you buy a gaming computer from Best Buy. I'm assuming that they went to the store. I haven't got all the information on it. I don't know if they went to the store and picked it up, or if it was shipped to them. You know, I don't know if they bought it from Best Buy or what the deal is actually with it yet. But apparently, Best Buy sold them a computer. The front panel, with the way they're talking, like the front panels are disconnected, the main motherboard cable is disconnected, the GPU cable is disconnected. So they're willing to pay me to put this thing back together. My recommendation is take it back to Best Buy. It's up to Best Buy to sell this thing ready to roll. But I'm going to look at it and see what happens with it. I don't know. Like I said, you know, she bought it from Best Buy. Best Buy ought to be responsible for this. I'm going to try to get some footage of it. I don't know how that's going to work out. But I'm kind of curious because I thought it was just, you know, as simple as hooking up the monitor, the keyboard, you know. But then when she said no, it's the inside cables that ain't connected. Like I said, I don't know if it was shipped or if they went to Best Buy and picked it up, and this is the condition it was in when they picked it up. I'm not too sure, but it'll be interesting this afternoon for me. Being cabling, I'll probably have to take the front panel off. I'll probably have to take the back panel off. You know, they asked me, they said, "Where you want to come to our place, or you want me to bring it to you?" I said, "Bring it to me." I said, "That way, if I need cables, I got cables. I got all my tools here. You know, I hate to go to their place, then find out there ain't enough SATA cables, to find out that, you know, the connectors ain't right, or, you know, I need a fan splitter or something that simple. The ARGB ain't working because they didn't have their ARGB hooked up right, and have to come all the way back home to get them little stupid ass cables." So it ought to be pretty interesting, but they're supposed to be here about 3 o'clock with it. I'm ready to take a look at it and try to rewire this thing. Like I said, I'm going to try to get some footage of it. I'm going to try to get a video out of it. I don't know if I will or not. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit interesting, I believe. I don't know, you guys had any experience with people buying Best Buy from buying computers from Best Buy and they end up screwed up like that? I'm kind of anxious to see what they paid for it and what kind of specs is in it, actually. I'm more interested in that than actually trying to fix it. Yeah, as far as shipping computers, you have to put foam in them. Shipping, packing, foam. See if we can find it. See what the hell it actually costs here. There we go. There we go. What's that stuff that when you put it in, it kind of flares up on stuff? What do they call that? Does this look like just regular packing foam? 50 pack of medi grade or large 16 by 12 by 1/6 foam wrap. What do they call that? Expand foam? Expand, I think is what they call it. Expanding foam? Maybe I'm wrong. Nah, there it is. Instant pack. There we go. Instant pack R40. What the hell is the RT40 and RT10? What's the difference? I think it's the RT40's better grade because it's $20 or $19.03, and the R10 is only $18. Yeah, and you use 2 of them for a system or 3 of them for a system. You know, you're looking at $40 just in trying to protect the GPU and shipping. Let's go up here to put instant pack. Did I spell that right? Probably not. Maybe you'll find it anyways. Foam powder, pack of 3, makes up to 360 gallons of foam party. That ain't what I'm wanting. I know I misspelled that, didn't I? Yeah. I don't think there's probably a space in it either. Insta packing. Instapack. Silver Air Instapack QRT foaming pack. $422? You gotta be kidding me. Well, yeah, I could do that. I got some of that out there in the building. We could definitely, yeah, we could use some of that. I don't know how they get it out on the other end, but that wouldn't be my problem, right? I can't believe this shit's so expensive. There's a 15x8. But that's $20 a piece. So you're looking at least 2 per computer. Maybe I would just fill it up with cheap bubble foam. I don't know. I don't know if I'd rather just sell the components off individually, which I figure they'll sell quicker that way. I really don't want to have to sell on eBay. I just don't know about shipping a computer though. I mean, I know a lot of people do it, but just to sell one computer, you gotta put $40 worth of Instapack in each one. That's quite an expense. Like I said, you know, UPS or FedEx say, okay, the price you ship $60, and that's just to throw it back into the case box and ship it. Which I know I get cases that way all the time, but a lot of them ends up with damages to them. You know, corners bent up on them and stuff like that. I really don't want to take that either. I don't know. What do you guys think about it? You think I ought to sell the computers after I build them, or you think I ought to just sell the ports out of the computers? I know, well, at least here in the U.S., we got FedEx and we got UPS is our big shippers, and yeah, even the cases I get in, I question them. I'll put it that way. I got an extra pre-built and tried to change the HDD to an SSD, and I had to remove the front USB cable, and the socket followed the cable. This thing ain't even glued on the motherboard. Yeah, and that's the other problem. You know, when you're talking about shipping a computer, you take a chance of the cables working the way loose, which a lot of the cables are held in with some kind of, you know, device or some kind of something. But, you know, one of them SSD cables comes disconnected, or hard drive cable comes disconnected, and then they're lost. There was a USB 3.0 front panel. Oh, I hate them USB 3s. They're almost as bad as the ARGB connectors, almost. If you can find buyers, why not? If not, strip them back down. See, that's what I'm thinking, especially here in my local area. I can pull up Craigslist, I can pull up Facebook Marketplace, and there ain't a whole lot of computer components local to buy up. And even if I sell them just by the components, usually the packing they come in would be good enough to sell, you know, for shipping. Very gentle, being very polite with all the pins. Yeah, I don't know if I can pull up, can I pull up Facebook Marketplace without giving out a bunch of shit? I don't know if I can or not. Yeah, I've had that PC I built listed for since the 20th, which is what, a week. I've only had 36 clicks on it. Um, I think it'd be alright to share this, I guess. I don't know. If you guys find me, you guys find me. To put those USB 3 sockets back. Oh yeah, if they pull completely off the motherboard. Yeah, I mean GPUs in this area, well, them's mostly shipped too. If you go to local pickup only, I don't have a whole lot of options. I mean, now there's a RX 584 gig going for 150 bucks. And Morgantown is the closest big city to me. GTX 1650 going for 240 bucks. Yeah, right. I ain't paying them kind of goddamn price. But there just ain't a whole lot here local to me. You know, results for outside your search area. I got what? Let's see here. GPUs, I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 times 8 is 32, 33, 34, 35 ports. Where do you have it listed? Most of my sales come from Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, I got it on Facebook Marketplace here. That's where I got it listed from. I have it on Facebook Marketplace. It's just in this area. It's just, you know, being right outside of a small town. Being outside of a small town, or a small college town, I should say. I figure these things will sell a lot better than what they do. Right there it is. Right there's my listing. And it's been up since the 20th. I've had 36 clicks. I got listed over 18 different places on Facebook. And there's no comments. There's nobody been hitting me back for it. There's all the places it's listed in, which is all local areas. But I just ain't getting no hits. I just ain't getting no nothing with it. And I mean, if you look for gaming PCs in my local area, within local pickup, I mean, you can see most of them is junk, and there ain't a whole lot of them. You know, if you scroll on down here, not very far, okay, results outside your search area. I mean, there really ain't no competition. But there also ain't nobody buying right now. But there's my listing, actually. I don't know. That's kind of why I thought maybe I'd try the Jawa, see what I end up with. But I don't know about shipping the full computer system. Last couple times I've actually put them in Craigslist. I got people wanting me to rip them back apart and buy the internal parts out of them, or they want me to piece them out. I'm going to do that. I might as well just sell them locally as just as parts instead of a full gaming PC. I tried, what was it, Let Go on the cell phone. It ain't no better in this area. You know, and I live 20 minutes from a small college town. You could be in a college town, you know, WVU. If you're from the United States, if you watch college football, the Mountaineers, I live 20 minutes outside of that place. 20, 30 minutes outside. But I just can't seem to get any hits. Can't get no interest. I don't know. So I thought maybe Jawa would open up a wire area. Maybe I could open it up to shipping, but then again, I end up trying to ship a whole computer, so I may just turn around and sell them the juice ports on Jawa. I just don't live in the right area to be doing it, I guess. I don't know. I looked at other systems, and there's people in my local area that's got like 4790K CPUs with a 1650. They're asking $800, $900 for them. I'm asking $700 for a 2400G with an RX 580. And I still ain't getting no hits. And of course, their systems ain't getting no hit because they're still up for sale a month and a half, 2 months later, and they're still up for sale. I don't know. Of course, with the way everything's going right now in the economy and prices keep going up on everything, everybody's just pinching the pennies too, I guess. And that's a good possibility of it. I always type out an extensive description, including what programs and games it will run. I always print out a few pages with all the specs, dates it was built, Windows keys, and any other info. I don't know if you know Craft Computing channel, but Jeff did a horrible choice for a $900 bill with a 5600X CPU, ASRock A520 motherboard, and a 6500, but this build makes no sense. No, not for $900. Especially at A520. The 6500 XT, you should be able to fit that in a lot less, a whole lot less than a $900 gaming PC build. I mean, $900 you get a 6600 XT with a 5600X, or a Intel 12400 for $900. Depending on when he put it up and what the GPU prices was at the time. 6500, they've always went for pretty well $250. But yeah, Craft Computing, I've seen a couple of his videos. But for $900, you could do a lot better than that. With a 5500, okay. This is Gen 3 limited for a 5600G and some other GPU, but not a 6500. Yeah, that's what I said. For $900, $1,000, you should have been able to put at least a 6600 in it. As far as the description on my title or on my Facebook Marketplace, you know, I put benchmarks down there, which you guys will be seeing in the next couple of weeks. You know, I put it in there when this 10 Pro is activated, which it is activated. You know, I don't know why it ain't selling. Like I said, maybe just the economy in this area. Of course, the students ain't around right now. All the students is home and whatnot. You know, it's between the school years right now in this area, so. But also, you're talking college students, almost everybody knows somebody that's in computer science. But yeah, I'm not too sure on what I'm going to do with them. Like I said, I may start listening more on Jawa as individual components, just to get some of my money back out of them. If I got to set on a gaming computer for a month or 2 months, or even if I gotta go put in $50, $60 extra to ship them out, I might as well sell them as individual ports. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. which I'd like to do more builds. I want to do more budget builds on the channel and whatnot, but I'm kind of running out of room, so I want to clear out my inventory as well. Maybe I'll put them together, throw them in the boxes, throw them in the corner, leave them sit there until they eventually sell. He would have saved a lot in this build to get a better GPU. Yeah, he could have. Well, it's like I said, you know, if that video's 3 months old, 4 months old, GPU prices was outrageous. CPU prices was on an incline. Depending on when he actually put that build together. Man, I don't know exactly when that one came out. Don't know when he did it, so really, let's see, craft computing, videos. Let's see, it looks like it came out May the 26th. $900 game PC in 2022. I hate it. Is that what you're talking about? This one right here, $900 game PC in 2022. I hate it. '26. That was 2 days ago, it looks like. Let's see here. 5600 RX 6500. NVMe 1 terabyte. Yeah, I don't know why he put a 6500 inside of I mean, it's $240 graphics for you putting it inside of a $900 system. The Q300L, I don't know what that is now, but that was only about $50 case. Wow, it's up to $70, which I mentioned that. Computer cases right now in the U.S. is crazy on prices. Whenever I did one in that case, hell, it was $50 case. That case just horrible. That ain't too bad of a case, as long as you don't put too high end of ports in it. But for $70, it definitely ain't worth $70. Like I said, the one I had, I think I paid $50 for it. Yeah. This one's got a few options to it, though, too. I mean, there's different ways you can actually set this one up. But like I said, it definitely ain't worth no $70. I bought mine back in, I don't even know when I did put it up on the channel, but I bought one for $50. I usually allow, it's about a third of the budget for the GPU in a gaming rig. And for a third of the price of a $1,000 system or a $900 system, you could have went with the Speedster 6600 for $329. He paid $229 for his. I mean, I'd have to actually watch the video and see what else he used. But if he used an A520 motherboard, yeah, no PS shroud on this one. And it costs $10 more. Yeah, that's what I said. That case used to be a $50 case. I don't know why it's $70 now. I mean, I'd have to actually watch his video and see what he paid for the components and whatnot, but yeah, I can see why he hates it. Uh, 266,000 subscribers. He's a lot bigger than what I am. Don't better on YouTube than me. Oh. Alright guys, I've been going for quite a while. I've been going almost 2 hours for this morning. I always allow about 40 to 50% of the budget for GPU to build around it. I usually go with about 30%. Sometimes I'll go up to 50%. But you're right in the same range I am. I normally stay, 30% or better for the GPU. Usually, doing crazy stuff gets used. Yeah, I don't do much crazy stuff. The all one does is tech stuff. He's a good candidate for that too. He does all that crazy shit, and he does pretty good for himself. I usually allow at least 30% for my GPU, up to 50%, depending on what the prices are looking like. Look at Jay's 2 cents. Yeah, he does some nutty stuff too. He does a lot of the air cooling, the LN2 cooling, and a lot of stuff like that. He does a lot of the off the wall stuff, especially when he decks the cardboard boxes and duct tape. Well, you're welcome, MT Coin, but I think I'm gonna get out of here for the day. I've been going for quite a few hours. I got that computer coming in here shortly. Got the fiance that should be coming in for the day. I got some stuff I need to get done. I need to get that video done up for the following weekend. Been fun. It's been a blast. But I think I'm gonna call it here for the day. Don't forget to go down and check out that description. There may be some links down there that may interest you. Don't forget you all have fun YouTube stuff when you way down that description box. And with that being said, you all have a good day or good weekend. And I'll see you in the next video or live stream.